I am your host, Dr. Nick Fanning, with the Super Parent Syndrome. Today we're going to be talking about they mean well. All right, sit back, relax, let's get started.
Parenting in the 21st century is ever evolving. And while you balance work, kids, and your sanity, it's easy to feel discouraged. Welcome to the Super Parent Syndrome with your host, Dr. Nick Fanning.
So, our family, our loved ones, our friends, they often mean well, but they're not always in support of what we're trying to do. And so I think you know exactly. In fact, when you're sitting there and you listen to that statement, I'm pretty sure that you had one or two people pop in your head. Case in point, today I went for a swim. Now, it is one of those things I've been struggling with, learning how to do effectively. And in fact, if you haven't listened to, I had a podcast a couple times ago where I talked about how finally relaxing and being able to enjoy swimming for the first time. And honestly, it's been working like a charm. But here's the thing. I happened just to call my mom on the way to the pool, just checking in on her, trying to be a good son. And I mentioned the fact that I'd be going swimming. Now, here's the thing. My mom knows me. She knows me my whole life, but she doesn't know like the new me. Okay. So in fact, here's the thing. When we start growing, when we start expanding, the people that we love the most are going to be a little freaked out by what the heck is going on here. So what do I mean by this? She immediately said, don't go into the deep end. And I was like, but I am. I'm going to be doing laps. No, she's like, no, you need to stay in the 3-foot area. You will drown. You will die. You are not made for swimming. You can't be doing this. And here's the thing. I love her to death, but at the same time, that voice in her head has been the story that I've been saying over and over again. And that is the story in my head I am trying to crush. She anchored it. She basically brought all my fears back. And I had to do a little meditation. I had to do a little self-affirmations to get through that so that I wouldn't have that voice ringing in my head. And guess what? Even today, when I was there was times I was getting tired, and honestly, her head was right there. Like, you shouldn't be in the deep end. You're going to drown. You can't be doing this. You need to stay in there. And by the way, when I'm doing her impression, I don't know why I did a deeper voice, but you know what I'm saying. Okay, here's the thing. They mean well, but they don't know. They don't know your struggles. They don't know what you can do. They don't know what you've been working hard to overcome. They don't know. And there are times when there's going to have to be people where you're going to have to separate yourself in certain areas of your life to make sure that you continue going forward. So here's the thing. I am never going to talk to my mom about swimming ever again. Honestly, like that's just one of those things because I don't want her chiming in like that. Now, I texted her afterwards jokingly and I said, hey, I'm still alive. I swam great. And she texted me back like a good mom does, like, I'm so proud of you. But at the same time, I don't want that doubt. I don't want that fear encompassing my life. So here's the thing. You might be getting that same message from your spouse. You might be getting it from your kids. In fact, that's one of those things that I remember my previous wife, she's like, I don't want you losing weight because I don't want to lose you. Like, as if her fear was that I'd get all hot and sexy and ripped again, and then she wouldn't be able to hang on to me. No, here's the thing. That was one of those things that just really kind of always took the wind out of my sails. In fact, when I would start losing weight, she'd start cooking more. Because here's the thing. She means well. But at the same time, our friends and our loved ones have these stories about us where they feel comfortable about us. And when we start leaving that box, it makes them uncomfortable. And people will react in two ways. One, they will applaud you and it will give them power to make their own changes. Or two, they're going to try to push you back into your box. Don't go lightly into that box, folks. This is your chance to shine. And you can come off leveling and just said you can just say simply like, okay, and move on with your life. But it's so easy to try to absorb into what that feedback is. You can't, it might be the story of like, you can't start a business like that, or you can't lose this weight, or what about us? What about Thanksgiving dinner? What about Christmas? I mean, are you going to be okay? Are you going to still be gluten free? Are you going to be still on this keto diet? I mean, what's going to happen to us? And that's the part, folks, and that's the real story, is that they're trying to tell you, what about me? How is this going to impact me? They mean well, but they're uncomfortable by your growth, and you sometimes have to let go. It might be coworkers. For example, you might be in a group of coworkers where all of a sudden you start producing at a higher level. You start getting noticed by upper management or somebody else, or maybe your clients, or maybe it's your colleagues, and you start doing more work and you get busier, and your colleagues are there in their same box, in their same bubble, and they get uncomfortable. And they may support you or they might shun you. And all of a sudden, instead of being one of the peons, one of the boys, one of the girls, all of a sudden you're in a different level. Growth happens at different rates, and that is okay. There are going to be people in your life that you may have to say goodbye to, and there are people that you're going to welcome, but most likely there are going to be people that you're going to have to change your relationship. Change is inevitable. And that's one of the fears and one of the scary things about growth is what you might lose. But don't let that hold you back, because guess what? On the other side is something even so much better. And in fact, you might still have those friends, and they might have the permission to move up as well. And in fact, if you haven't told them already, make sure you sign up to this podcast. I mean, shameless plug there. But at the same time, really honestly, that's what I do. I make insurmountable change, or change that's scary in your life. I make it look easy. I break it down into parts for you. We do it together. And you're able to move in a direction that you never were able to move before. Because when you're trying to do it all by yourself, it's scary. It's hard. And it seems overwhelming. And after the first torpedo hits us, we go back to where we used to be. Because guess what? When we're stressed, we resort to old habits. Don't resort to old habits. Stick with this. You can do it. This is Dr. Nick Fanning, signing off.
Thanks for listening to another episode of The Super Parent Syndrome. Please be sure to visit peptalksforparents.com for more content and our free newsletter. And remember, you are not alone.